Right now on Fox 43 Featured, the man charged with setting the governor's mansion on fire in Harrisburg pleaded guilty. How long Cody Balmer will be behind bars, and reaction from Governor Josh Shapiro himself. Plus, Penn State is moving forward after firing head coach James Franklin, and the search is on to find a replacement. And a York County salon is among the first in the region to offer a new stem cell-based treatment for hair loss. Fox 43 Featured starts right now. Thanks for joining us for Fox 43 Featured. I'm Robert Stover. For the next half hour, we're going to be highlighting some of the top stories of the week in our area, starting with the man accused of firebombing the governor's mansion back in April. Cody Balmer pleaded guilty to the attack at a court hearing this week. He now faces 25 and 50 years in prison and will have to pay $100,000 in restitution. Now, during Tuesday's hearing, surveillance video showed Balmer throwing Molotov cocktails in the governor's residence. Dauphin County District Attorney Franchardo says Balmer's attack was motivated by the war in Gaza and Governor Josh Shapiro's support of Israel.
He said, even if I have to take a life. I'm not crazy about having to take a life, but I will if it's because of the millions endangered.
Balmer's family wrote a letter ahead of the hearing apologizing to Governor Shapiro and his family for the attack. They add that Balmer's actions were inexcusable. They also say they can be understood through the context of untreated mental illness. And after the sentencing, Governor Josh Shapiro made an emotional speech where he described the scars he and his family still have and the guilt he felt over the repercussions of his own public service. The governor says he supports the plea deal and that this won't stop his work.
We remain focused and committed to doing our work on behalf of the good people of Pennsylvania. And nothing and no one will stop us from doing that important work.
Shapiro once again addressed the rising political violence in America, saying that it should never be accepted as a new normal. And the state budget is over 100 days late. There are now bigger questions being asked about the State General Assembly itself. The 251 members make the legislature the largest full-time body in the country, with each taking home full-time salaries worth six figures. While others have proposed cutting salaries down to part-time, with schools and counties still struggling without state funding, some lawmakers say more accountability has to be taken.
I sit on a nonprofit board, which I know they're struggling. They're furloughing people. They don't have the monies. And so I just don't think it's fair that we are not struggling.
Lawmakers currently make their full salary even during a budget deadlock. And regarding a potential tax hike, York County President Commissioner Julie Wheeler says, quotes, "We have gone 3 straight years without a tax increase, but thanks to the state's inability to provide a budget on time, nearly every year, those days of no tax increase budgets are likely coming to an end," end quote. You can find the full statement right now on fox43.com. And if you want to make your voice heard, the deadline to register for this year's election is October 20th. To register, you can use the state's online voter registration system or go in person. The deadline to apply for a mail-in ballot is by October 28th. Election day itself is November 4th, and your ballot can be delivered until 8 p.m. on that day. For more information on how or where to register, as well as where you can vote, head to our website, fox43.com. The government shutdown is now in its 3rd work week, and lawmakers are feeling the push to reach an agreement. The two sides still appear far from an agreement on reopening or the health care subsidies Democrats want. House Speaker Mike Johnson warns that it's going to drag onto historic territory unless Democrats come to the table to help pass Republicans' short-term funding bill.
We're barreling toward one of the longest shutdowns in American history unless Democrats drop their partisan demands and pass a clean, no-strings-attached budget to reopen the government and pay our federal workers.
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and unfortunately, they've made the decision to take a my way or the highway approach.
Vice President J.D. Vance warned more federal employees could be fired the longer the shutdown continues. The longest government shutdown was 35 days during President Trump's first term in office. In the meantime, the Education Department has gone forward with staffing cuts. The union representing federal workers says more than 450 people at the agency have been laid off. Most of those were reportedly in the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services. The department issued a letter to workers saying the government shutdown made layoffs unavoidable, but did not comment on the exact number of workers who were let go. Governor Josh Shapiro and State Agriculture Secretary Russell Redding visited a dairy farm in Lebanon County this week to promote farmland preservation in Pennsylvania. More than 6,500 farms and 650,000 acres of land have been preserved for agriculture across PA. The administration says that's the most of any state in the country.
For the first time ever, we're focused on agriculture, not just from the standpoint of preservation, not just looking at it from an historical perspective, but understanding that ag is key to our economic growth for the future of this Commonwealth.
The administration has promoted farming as a major economic boost for PA. They say it's contributed more than $130 billion to the economy and supported nearly 600,000 jobs over the last 2 years. And plans for a large-scale composter will move forward in Warwick Township, Lancaster County. A property owner fought to create a farming system that breaks down organic material using bacteria. They submitted a land development application in August of 2024, but the township denied it, saying it required conditional use approval. The owner argued that the project is part of normal farming operations and doesn't need local approval. This most recent decision ends the legal fight, but some community members are not on board.
What is involved, what is being brought in, what is being taken out, because we found that the surrounding states do not allow this. So is it being done in Pennsylvania because they want to bring wastewater or waste into the various townships?
Now, some people who live in the area raise concerns about traffic, environmental impact, and the effect on a nearby watershed. And Lebanon County is set to join an expanded police diversion program in hopes of helping people who struggle with mental illness. Fox 43's Matt Kleindens looks at how the initiative wants to keep low-level offenders from entering the justice system.
Lebanon County Police are getting a new tool to help keep people in need out of prison.
If they get the help that they so desperately need, the officer never files a criminal charge.
On Wednesday, Lebanon County announced it would be joining Pennsylvania's Law Enforcement Treatment Initiative, a diversion program for people struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. They are the 34th county to join the LETI program and one of the first to be part of its expanded mental health protocol.
This is kind of filling that gap that we have out there and providing more avenues for treatment and for having people get help.
Under the program, families and police officers can refer people with low-level offenses to treatment for mental health and substance use issues. Attorney General Dave Sunday says LETI aims to get people treatment and keep them from cycling in and out of jail.
When you don't help them, and they go into prison for like a day or two. They come back out. They go right back in. They come back out. And it increases the severity of their crimes.
And that's the last thing that we want to do for our folks with mental illness.
Holly Leahy with Lebanon County's mental health program says roughly 40 people currently in Lebanon County Prison could have been kept out had they had access to the LETI program. She says her office will work with local police and the district attorney to identify potential LETI referrals.
Once they've been identified, then they would be referred to crisis intervention for that assessment and determine the level of treatment that they really need.
State and county leaders say they're holding people accountable while offering them a way to get the assistance they need.
We have to look at other ways to keep our community safe, or else we're leaving truly tested initiatives on the table.
Matt Kleindens, Fox 43 News.
The open enrollment period has begun for senior citizens 65 and older to get their Medicare benefits. Some people may see increased costs for prescriptions, co-pays, and more this year when the new plans take effect on January 1st. Meredith Mills, CEO of Country Meadows Retirement Communities, says Pennsylvania has one of the oldest populations in the nation and that this is a time for people to have open, healthy conversations.
Connect with your loved ones about not only what insurance plan they want to choose, but overall what gives them purpose and what gives them life.
Open enrollment for both traditional Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans closes on December 7th for 2026 coverage. A new treatment using stem cells claims to regrow thinning hair, and one York County salon is among the first to have it on the East Coast. We'll show you how it works after the break. Welcome back to Fox 43 Featured. A York County salon is among the first in the region to offer a new stem cell-based treatment for hair loss. The owner says the results are giving clients new confidence and new growth. Fox 43's Amy Lutz has that story in this week's Health Smart report.
Here is the little serum.
At Midtown Hair Company in York County, stylists are using a new stem cell-based formula to help clients regrow thicker, healthier hair.
We are one of the first salons in the area, and this has just come to the United States. This was developed in Europe.
It's called Calisim, and it uses stem cell-derived growth factors to reactivate weakened or dormant hair follicles.
This treatment's really great for anyone that's thinning or shedding or losing hair. This treatment would not be for someone who has lost their hair 20 years ago, like a man that is like shiny bald.
Salon owner Rebecca Kunkel says the treatment can be up to 95% effective, with results showing as much as 14% more hair.
When I first heard that, I had to really look into it. You have about 100,000 hairs on your head, so 14% is 14,000 new hairs. That's a significant result.
The process usually starts with a 6 or 12-week kickstart program, and then clients maintain the results from home.
It takes a few minutes at home once a week, so it's not a very big commitment. And the maintenance is $300, and that gets you 3 months.
She says the treatment reduces inflammation in the scalp, which is one of the leading causes of hair loss. It's even safe for people who color their hair.
It's not greasy, it's easy to apply, it's not painful.
Experts say early intervention is key, and treatments like Calisim are giving people struggling with thinning hair a new option to preserve what they have. For more information on the treatment or Midtown Hair Company, I've put a link on our website, fox43.com. With your Health Smart report, Amy Lutz, Fox 43 News.
Penn State Health Children's Hospital in Dauphin County hosted its annual Spirit of Children Halloween party this week. Since 2009, the hospital has partnered with Spirit of Children to offer families and kids costumes and fun activities, all donated by Spirit Halloween and its partners. The goal.
And this is a huge thing for our families. It takes that burden off of them to feel the pressure of having to quickly run out to a store and try and find something, and to be able to know that the store came to them. It allows them to still be able to do the things they would do in a hospital setting.
Penn State Children's Hospital is one of 162 hospitals across the country and Canada that Spirit of Children supports. 100% of every dollar donated at Spirit Halloween stores goes back to those departments. And they've spent more than 2 years in training, mastering tasks like opening doors, turning off lights, even picking up medicine. United Disability Services celebrated the graduation of 10 dogs, all ready to begin new lives as partners to people with mobility challenges, autism, or PTSD. These dogs haven't only been taught to follow commands, they've been trained to bring confidence, independence, and joy into someone else's world.
We're so excited. We have 6 service dogs and 4 facility dogs. In addition, we're celebrating another breeding female and also one of our owner-trained clients. So we're very proud of all of these graduates.
UDS depends on volunteers and donors to keep the program running. Penn State is moving forward after firing head coach James Franklin. Still ahead, where the search stands on finding a new leader for Happy Valley. For only the second time in school history, Penn State football will have an interim head coach. Student athletes, recruiters, and fans are now wondering what's next. Fox 43's Ryan E. looks at the athletic department's succession plan in Happy Valley.
Penn State is searching for a new face of the Nittany Lions football program.
Football is our backbone. We have invested at the highest level. With that comes high expectations. Ultimately, I believe a new leader can help us win a national championship, and now is the right time for this change.
Following Saturday's shocking defeat against Northwestern, the third loss in a row, Penn State fire head coach James Franklin after 12 seasons. Franklin will be paid a $49 million buyout, the second highest in college football history. VP of Intercollegiate Athletics Pat Kraft says all money from the buyout will be coming from athletics, not education. Kraft added this decision was not made lightly.
It's about where are we as a program? Where are we going? How do I give my student athletes the best chance to win? How do I continue to build this to a place that we are the best program in the country? That's the motivation.
For now, cornerbacks coach Terry Smith, who played at PSU under Joe Paterno, will take over. Smith joins Tom Bradley, who took over after Paterno's firing, as the only interim head coach in PSU history. Smith expects things to turn around under his leadership.
I promise we're going to put a better product on the field that every Penn Stater is going to be super proud of.
The looming question, though, who will be the 17th head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions football team?
Our next coach will be someone who embodies everything Penn State stands for: integrity, accountability, toughness, humility, and an elite motivator.
So just like the midseason construction happening here at West Shore Home Field at Beaver Stadium, the Nittany Lions will also be doing some rebuilding from the ground up. Ryan Yee, Fox 43.
Well, it was a big task with an even bigger end goal. A Dauphin County man participated in his self-created annual single-day golf challenge. It benefited big brothers, big sisters of South Central Pennsylvania. Joe Holston, a former board member of the group, started the initiative in 2020. Each year, he's added more holes to his route at Menunda Golf Club and subtracted the amount of clubs he can use. Now this year, he played 126 holes with only one club.
A lot of practice and a lot of hope. I'm 68 years old. It beats me up. This year I'm doing it with just a 3-wood and a 7-iron, but I think we'll get through the 126 holes and hopefully raise a lot of money.
Joe says he's able to raise money with the support of other golfers, his friends, and the community. Over the last 4 years, he's raised $100,000 with the goal of raising another $75,000 this year. Coming up, dark secrets, double lives, and a haunting score. We'll take you behind the curtain of the Fulton Theater's production of Jekyll Hyde to find out what it's all about. The Fulton Theater in Lancaster is diving into a tale of good and evil with its latest production of Jekyll Hyde. Fox 43's Amy Lutz shows us what to expect from the Broadway thriller in this week's Center Stage.
It's one of literature's most haunting stories, and now the Fulton Theater is bringing Jekyll and Hyde to life. Dave Toole plays both Jekyll and Hyde.
He's a scientist, and he decides that he's going to develop a chemical formula to separate good and evil, to control the evil and eliminate it, so all that's left is the good. He gets turned down for clinical trials and has to use the chemical formula on himself, ultimately leading to complete turmoil and chaos and theatrical fun.
He says the show's powerful story matches the equally powerful music.
Anytime I get to do a Frank Wildhorn show, I jump at it because Frank Wildhorn's scores are so lush and just so well orchestrated.
Despite how easy he makes it look, Toole says playing the dual role pushes him to his limits.
This is the most difficult track I've ever done. Vocally, moving back and forth between two characters, constantly switching, it takes a lot of demand, so you're kind of playing vocal calculus like the whole time you're doing this show to make sure everything places right.
While the show is known for its intensity and darker themes, Toole says this production is for anyone who appreciates theater.
There's some mature content in it. There's some violence and some themes that might not be good for kids. Besides kids, I mean, it's a classic novel, and the stage adaptation it definitely satisfies those who know the story and just want to be entertained for the night, especially during the Halloween season.
Jekyll Hyde runs at the Fulton Theater in Lancaster through November 2nd. For tickets, I've put a link to their site on ours, FOX43.com. Amy Lutz, Fox 43 News.
And that's going to do it for Fox 43 Featured. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Have a good one.